How's it going, everyone? James Lynch here for oddschecker.com, doing a breakdown of Saturday's UFC Fight Night card, which features Derek Brunson taking on Edmen Shabazhan in a middleweight bout. This was supposed to be Holly Holm and Irene Aldana. Of course, Aldana testing positive for COVID-19. So we have a new main event, and it's an awesome fight and a pivotal fight for the 185-pound weight class. Let's take a look first at Derek Brunson. He comes into this at 6'1" with a 77-inch reach, and he is 36 years old. A wealth of experience compared to his opponent, Edmen Shabazhan. He's got 27 career fights compared to Shabazhan, who's only got 11. Now, Derek Brunson hasn't fought since August of 2019. That's where he got a win over top middleweight Ian Heinisch. He's heading into this fight on a 2-fight win streak, and he's all of his losses have been to top fighters, including Robert Whittaker, Anderson Silva, Jacare Souza, and Israel Adesanya. Currently, Edmen Shabazhan is a bit of a favorite in this one. I've seen a lot of books having him close to a 3-1 favorite, and I think that's fair. I do see Shabazhan as the favorite here, but I do want people to be careful about this fight because of the fact that Edmen Shabazhan just hasn't fought the caliber of opponent that Derek Brunson has. So that's something to keep in mind for this fight. Now let's talk about Edmen Shabazhan. 6'2" with a 74-inch reach, and he is 22 years old. So Shabazhan has a height advantage in this fight. Brunson has the reach advantage, and obviously Shabazhan a lot younger at 22 years old. He hasn't fought since November 2019, where he got a quick win over Brad Tavares in the very first round at UFC 244. He's finished his last 3 opponents, and obviously one of the most promising and exciting prospects in the UFC. Now, how do I see this fight going? I think Edmen Shabazhan is going to be a little bit too fast for Derek Brunson. Now, Brunson, like I mentioned, a lot of experience, good wrestling, good stand-up. I mean, we've seen Brunson get knockout wins. We've seen him use his wrestling and neutralize his opponents, but I don't think that'll happen here with a guy like Edmen Shabazhan, just with the fact I think he's a lot faster. Like I said, he's also got knockout power. We saw that in the last fight, and I also think we haven't seen much of his ground game either, so that could get interesting if this fight does go to the mat in terms of what Edmen Shabazhan can bring to the table. So I will pick Edmen Shabazhan here, but I think at 3-1, I think that's a little bit too steep for my liking, just because this does look like a situation where people are overlooking the more experienced opponent in Derek Brunson. And look, I get it. He's 36 years old. He probably not as talented as his opponent here at this stage in his career. However, you do have to be careful about fights like this. It reminds me a bit a few weeks ago of when Tecia Torres fought Brianna Van Buren, and Torres, way more experienced, but came into this on a losing streak. A lot of people were overlooking her, and Van Buren ended up losing that fight, even though she was the favorite. A lot of people just looking past sort of a lot of the intangibles in the fight. So that's something to keep in mind as well. In terms of what this means, I mean, if Edmen Shabazhan gets the win here, that's really going to propel him into that contender spot in the middleweight division. It's going to be pretty hard to deny. It's actually very interesting to look at the opponents that Edmen Shabazhan has had in his last couple fights, because it's kind of going on the same trajectory as Israel Adesanya. If you remember, Adesanya fought Brad Tavares, beat him, then fought Derek Brunson, knocked him out, and then of course went on to fight Anderson Silva, and then fought for the interim title. Shabazhan's sort of on the same path here, fighting Tavares, getting a quick win there, and then fighting Brunson. So I think if Shabazhan gets a quick win here, you could see him propelled into sort of a contender spot, because it's going to be pretty hard to deny a guy who's undefeated like Edmen Shabazhan. Now, if Derek Brunson wins this fight, obviously a lot is riding on this. If he beats a really hot prospect, I think you'll see him get a step up as well and inch towards a title shot, because if he beats Shabazhan, this is a huge win for him. Like I mentioned, Shabazhan undefeated, so really good opportunity here for Derek Brunson. So I want to know what you guys think of this fight below. Who are you picking? How do you see the fight unfolding? Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Lynch on Sports, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Oddschecker US, to check out a lot of original content and my interviews on this channel. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching.